What's poppin', peeps? Welcome back to episode 4 of the motherfucking Peep Lounge, where today we got a very special guest because not only is this the first non-artist that we've had, this is let me just point her reaction content has amassed her over 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. She is Nerdcore reactor, streamer, and overall just a homie, the wonderful and amazing ThatAmethystWitch, Tay-Pat, however you know her. Miss Tay-Pat, welcome in to the motherfucking Peep Lounge. Hope you're having a fantastic evening.
I am now, Dean. Thank you.
Of course.
To be here.
Of course. Like I said, you're the very first person that we've gotten on this that isn't an artist. So I'm kind of curious how this one will go. It probably won't be any different than in the other ones, but it's different to see other perspectives in Nerdcore that isn't from like the musician side and seeing from like almost like a consumer, like the Nerdcore consumer side. So I'm excited to chat with you, to pick your brain a little bit, and just overall just BSing with you and have a good time.
I'm so excited.
With that being said, I always like to start these off with a little bit of fun. Okay, so with that being said, I feel like deep down you knew I was gonna bring this up at some point. We need to talk about it. Dobby, let's talk about it. Let's talk.
I saw that coming. I'm not even kidding. I was in my kitchen. I was putting together my drink here, which is just water with some Crystal Light flavoring. And I'm just thinking about like what kind of questions you're going to ask. And I'm like, I know Dobby's going to come up. You can actually see him over here.
Oh, I probably if you look around, you can probably see him a little bit everywhere. To be honest,
well, he's there, and then I have a little plushie here.
Do you have one of those pop vinyls of him?
No, I don't.
Wow, fake fan.
I know, but I have like one of those like they're not pops, but they're like those figurines that you can kind of like change out their like hands and arms or something. I don't know what they're called, but
those aren't Nendroids, are they?
They might be, but I got regardless.
I think I know what you're talking about. I just can't remember what they're called.
Me neither. I got one for Christmas from one of my friends.
W friend?
What?
W friend?
Yeah.
What?
And then I was thinking of like what shirt to wear, and I was like, I like this one.
Yep.
Because being a witch is kind of my brand and my thing, but Dobby is also unofficially part of my brand, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now Dobby shirts.
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
God.
So
she doesn't play around.
What specifically about my man?
No. Here's the thing, right? We'll come back later about how you're into those toxic men, or we'll come back into. But I gotta ask, how did that all start? Because it's almost to the point where it seems like it's a little obsessive. It's maybe just a little bit of obsessive.
Maybe a little bit. So to be honest with you, I could not pinpoint my awakening. I have always kind of just had a thing for dark hair and blue eyes. Mm-hmm. That's always been a thing for me. And I don't know. I guess I just kind of vibed with Dobby's like aesthetic. And then I watched the dub, so Jason Liebrecht's voice.
I remember, I think there was a stream where I was talking about where you were talking about like him, and he's always one of your favorite VAs. Mm-hmm. And you're just in love with his voice.
He has a very good voice, and it's kind of like the same, regardless of like where he is. So, like I hear Dobby, and then I'll hear whatever his name was from Black Clover. And I'm blanking.
I don't know much about Black Clover, but if you could give me a description, I might be able to.
He has white spiky hair.
Oh, is it the main character?
No, it's not the main character. He's like from the Ice Kingdom. Not the Ice Kingdom, the Diamond Kingdom.
Oh, see, then it's over my head. I only know like the main characters. Oh, okay.
And later Crow from Ruby. Those are like the 3 main roles that I know of his. Now he's one of my favorites, but he's not like one of my favorites. But that's another discussion that we could probably get into. But I don't know. But I like to think that it was a subconscious thing because when I was a wee girl, a child,
Yeah.
this amazing show came on Nickelodeon called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And
Legend, absolute legend.
my hyperfixation character was Zuko.
Of course.
So
Knowing you, that kind of fits the bill.
So I think it was probably a subconscious, scarred, familial issue Fireboy. And that's when I was like, that one. Because when I came into the My Hero fad, if you will, it was 2020, and that's when it really like kicked off, right?
Yep.
So I was seeing a lot of like fan edits of Dobby, but at the same time Hawks.
Oh, yep.
So, and of course, like I feel like there's two kinds of people in the world when it comes like to this, and it's either Dobby or it's Hawks. And what's funny is one of my really good friends, she recently started watching My Hero, and we were like best friends growing up, and we're still very, very close. Like I was in her wedding a couple months ago, and she loves Hawks.
Oh,
and I
Lord.
love Dobby.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like we're kind of like parallels with that, because she is a Gojo girl. I am a Gato girl.
Damn.
She really liked Poison Ivy at one point, and I really liked Harley Quinn at another.
So you guys have always kind of had that kind of like almost like
ever since we were kids,
like that little rivalry is just like Gojo, Geto, Harley, Poison Ivy. You guys have always just kind of had that little dynamic going between the two of you.
And I didn't come to that realization until we were talking about JJK, and I'm like, oh my god, wow. But
by the way, you can do way better than Geto. I'm just gonna keep it a stat. not even Toji. Not even Toji.
I feel like Toji's kind of mid.
Damn, I hope you know. There's gonna be some people who watch this that are gonna absolutely rip into you for that one.
All I'm saying is
I'm clipping that and I'm putting that into Twitter.
I'm basing it off of looks. When it comes to character, definitely Toji's better than Geto, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like the long dark hair, but at the same time, like I also look at Toji and I'm just like, okay. And then, but like I don't know what it is. I don't know. That's that's something I obviously got to talk out with my therapist. Or something.
And the rest was history. So it was like you started out. Was Dobby like the first person like you really like got like super into? Like who was like the very first anime character?
So I love to talk about this because I've been seeing these posts on TikTok where it's like, oh, every girl's first anime crush was one of these guys, right? And it's like Shishomaru, or it's Gray from Fairy Tail, or it's Vegeta from Dragon Ball, like something like that. Yeah. Believe it or not, yeah. I've seen him in a lot of those. Wouldn't have been my first choice. My first choice would have been his son. So
valid.
But my first anime crush that I can remember. Now, if we're going to count Avatar: The Last Airbender, which personally I do, it'd be Zuko. But if we're doing like distinct anime, Joey Wheeler from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh, dude, that's such no. How the fuck? Because from where Joey Wheeler is to where Dobby is, that's like two totally different sides of the spectrum. So
the range is crazy.
What was it about Joey then that had you just like he broke the
really cute.
Okay.
I thought he was just really cute, and then I saw more of Seto Kaiba, and I quickly shifted ways. Like Joey was not long lived, and then Kaiba, that like stencil, that like character carried, because I quickly realized I really like the Kaiba character in Yu-Gi-Oh! So obviously it was Seto in Yu-Gi-Oh! And then it was Zane Truesdale in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Oh my god, that was such a... I haven't heard that name in ages.
That's my boy. And another thing that I also got, now it's got to be something with the color blue. Characters with blue hair.
Oh, Lord.
That is also a type.
Oh, Lord.
Zane has blue hair.
Yep.
But the first blue-haired character that I really liked was Chrom from Fire Emblem Awakening.
I'm not familiar with Fire Emblem, so that one I'm not familiar with. But
well, for everyone who knows, that's my boy, and he's also voiced by Matt Mercer, who is
everybody's voiced by Matt Mercer, man. He's voice acted so many people.
He is amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
When I say he's one of my favorites, like he's definitely in my top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be Billy Kometz at number 1, and like that spot's locked for him. Like rest in peace to a king. Then number 2 would definitely be Matt Mercer, and then number 3 would have to be Kira Buckland.
Who do they voice?
Oh God, Kira has been in a lot of things, but she plays. Oh, okay. So I'm not too familiar with Demon Slayer, believe it or not, but
that's my jam. I if you give me a description, I got you.
Pink-haired, braided pigtails.
Like the pink and green Mitsuri.
Yeah,
Mitsuri.
Her.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. She voices Mary from Kakaguri.
Okay.
She voices, most importantly, she voices Jolene Cujo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
Okay, so she's a very prominent name in the voice acting community too.
I think she's been going for almost 20 years.
Oh, god damn.
But like she is one of the biggest JoJo fans I think anyone will ever come across. And she grew up with the manga.
Yep.
She grew up watching the show. And she's really into cosplaying, and she always cosplayed Jolene. And she also has a tattoo of the JoJo star right on her back.
Oh, damn.
The birthmark is.
Yeah.
So her dream was always to voice Jolene. Mm-hmm. So when she announced that she was voicing Jolene, I actually vocally screamed. Like, it wasn't an internal scream. Like, I actually screamed because I was so happy for her.
I could just imagine you just, like, reading, like, news articles, whatever, and then you physically getting out of your chair and screaming with, like, your hands on your face and everything.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty close to it. That is pretty close to it. But yeah.
But, see, I got into the anime game super late. I didn't get into anime until after I graduated. And
me too.
My very first anime, I don't know if you know this one. You might have heard of it, but I got a feeling maybe you haven't watched it. But it's called Kill la Kill.
I know of it.
That was my first one because there was a little bit of Dean lore for people out there. In high school, there was this kid who wanted to start up an anime club in high school, and I didn't know anything about it, and he still asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to be a part of this? And I was just like, I don't really know, but since I was like too nice of a guy and I couldn't say no, I was like, sure, I'll be a part of it. Why not? And I wasn't really familiar with what anime really was at the time, but I was curious. So I was just like, I looked up and I was looking up where to find where to find and watch anime. And I found that you can watch it like on the old Cartoon Network, like Toonami, Adult Swim. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I stayed up one night and I was just gonna watch whatever came on, and it happened to be Kill la Kill. And I was just like, oh shoot, this is dope. And it just happened to be the very first episode too, which was crazy. And I was just like, this is dope. So I found out about Crunchyroll, and then so I watched the rest of it there. Mm-hmm. And after I watched it, I was like, damn, this show was really, really dope. I wanted to get into other, like, try to see what other ones I could find. And I know at the time, because this was like around 2018-ish time, and My Hero was just like getting really popular. So I was just like, I'll give this a try. I watched the first episode. It didn't hit the same as when I watched Kill la Kill. So I thought maybe I just caught lightning in a bottle. I never watched another anime after that. But then I had the urge to rewatch Kill la Kill. I rewatched it a couple years later, and then it still hit me just the same as it did the first time. And then I decided to do the whole process again, where I was just going to try to rewatch. So I started up Naruto, and then I fell in love with Naruto. Still my favorite anime to this day. But my first anime crush comes from that show, and it's I know the very common answer, but it was my first one since it was one of my first one. But Hinata from Naruto from back in the day, that was my go-to. I feel like that was a lot of people's go-to, but that's just because that was one of my first shows or whatever. That I mean, I'm not mad at it. It's still one top tier character to this day. I love Hinata to this day. But I just feel like it's a very common, just like a very basic kind of answer. I don't have anybody like cool or obscure or anything like that. But
listen, no, so kind of like it was a similar thing with me. I didn't really get into the anime game until like 2016, 2017 after I had graduated high school.
Yeah.
And it honestly, the spiral started with Yu-Gi-Oh! And
that's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, you don't seem like the type of person who would be super into Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh my god, most of my collection is still at my dad's house.
Oh, you collect? Oh, that's dope.
Oh my god, Dean, it was like my whole personality for a solid 3 years.
Oh damn.
And but I have boxes upon boxes
at
my dad's house.
Dude, you're probably sitting on like a stack of gold there, man. You probably should go through that, because like
I thought about it the other day.
Trading cards nowadays are huge, and it's like if you got like a rare gem, if they're in good condition at least, if you got like a rare gem in there, man, you could be sitting on a gold mine.
Well, I used to sell cards too when I was collecting.
Oh, okay.
And fun story. So I ran 2 decks. So I actually played, and the one was it was spellcasters, RT if you're surprised. And it was
the witch doing spellcasters? Who would have thought? Not me, I can tell you that much.
So it was comprised of like pretty much like dark magician girls and dark magicians.
Yep.
And I also had in there Paladin Oracle Mahad, Paladin Oracle Mana. And it was a pretty good deck. And the second one that I ran was vampires. And
that also makes sense knowing you.
Well, I had a vampire phase. So
I feel like everybody goes through a vampire phase at one point or another.
So I built that deck completely out of buying booster cards. I did not go searching for specific cards because I also had a problem. I was addicted to the feel of opening a booster card and like, oh my god, what kind of card am I?
Dude, it's so fun. Like I'm the same way. Like I went to a short Pokemon card phase, bro. Just the serotonin and the just like of opening packs or whatever and seeing what you get, bro. It's addicting, bro. It's
so bad.
It's like
it's expensive.
Nowadays it's super expensive, so it's just like I always thought like it would be cool if I got back, but it's just like my bank account would fucking cry.
Well, so I spent roughly about almost 200 building this deck because I was buying out my local Walmart, the next town over's Walmart booster cards, because the vampires came out in a set called Dark Saviors, and it was vampires, Sky Strikers, which was the meta at that time, and oh god, I forget what the other one was, but the Sky Strikers was like, that was meta. That was the deck everyone was running in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yep.
So I made the money back.
Oh shoot!
Because I managed to pull the one spell card that you needed to have if you were running a Sky Striker deck, and it was Sky Strikers Engage. And that card, and I looked it up, obviously, was running for almost $200, like
damn,
$100 and $200 on eBay. So I left it up to bidding. I was like, I'm not gonna make somebody pay $200. So, and then my partner at the time was just like, okay, well then put it up for this. So we started it at $50 because that's what he recommended. And I guess there was a bidding war. I made a little bit over somebody spent like $210 on it.
God
and
damn.
I was like, they must have really needed that card, because I wouldn't have even spent $50 on a card. You kidding me?
Dude, nowadays, man, thinking about just how much those cards like that are worth. Like I said, I know Pokemon's has more money involved with it than Yu-Gi-Oh nowadays, but just in general, just like cards going for hundreds and hundreds, potential thousands, and it's just like just for a little thing this big,
Yep.
like you could easily screw up, rip it, tear it, whatever. It's not risk, but it's just like this little small thing for
Mm-hmm.
a couple $100. That's crazy.
Yeah, I was stunned, but I was like, okay. And so I made sure to send them a really nice thank you note when when I mailed out the
Yeah,
card. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because I'm like, this person just gave me $200 for this card. I need to have something in there for them. Like, I don't want to be
gotta make
like
it worth their while.
I don't want to be an evil capitalist. Like,
Now, see, I'm
but
evil. I would just take their money and I wouldn't even give them the card. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Mm,
but so you said that you played it, correct?
yeah, but I played at like one quote unquote tournament.
Oh, that's what I was just
But
about to ask. If you played for any like competitions or tournaments or anything like that.
so it was really kind of sad, to be honest,
Hmm.
because my this comic store a couple towns over from me,
Yeah.
they run like these card game tournaments. Like, they have Pokemon, they have Magic. Magic was like their main thing, but they also ran Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments.
Hmm.
Well, the first one they ran, me and my partner at the time went to, and counting us, there was one, two, five
Damn.
people that showed up. And I was like, damn, okay, people really don't care about Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess.
Damn.
So it wasn't
That
really
does
a
increase your
tournament.
chances, though.
Exactly. I mean, like, because so few people showed up, the tournament didn't really happen.
Hmm.
So we just kind of just played each other, which
Damn.
was still really cool, because the
Hmm.
only other person I knew that played was my partner at the time.
Hmm.
And so to be able to play with somebody else, because I already knew my partner's deck and like what he ran Cyber Dragons.
Damn.
Okay.
That
And
sounds way cooler than Spellcaster. I'm
uh,
not gonna lie.
you think I would love Cyber Dragons because that's Zane's archetype. Like,
Yep.
Zane runs Cyber Dragons. I fucking hate them. And I fucking hated Cyber Dragon Infinity because that was an XYZ card. And you would be able to remove one of the materials to negate a card effect. Well, spellcasters run on card effects. So every single time, and it was always dark, it was always Chocolate Magician Girl. Okay. Yep. That was the card. And that was oh god, what was her effect? It was like the best out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I used it, he'd be like, I'm gonna remove a material and negate your card. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't like you. You're not allowed to play this deck anymore. So, but yeah, no, I think both of those decks are still at my dad's house, and I kind of want it because I miss them. I just want to have them.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like I said, I didn't take you to be a Yu-Gi-Oh person at all. So the fact, so it's really cool seeing you geek out and just kind of show that you're. I don't know how much you are into it nowadays. Like, if you really like, but just it's really cool to see you kind of geek out over it, whatever. It's just really cool, and to see that, because I feel like a lot of people get into collecting, but not very many people like. And this goes for like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic. Not a lot of people play it. Mm-hmm. They kind of just do it for the collecting aspect of it. Mm-hmm. So to see that you were really enjoying the playing aspect, that's really cool to hear. And I just
yeah, I'm not into it so much anymore as I was back in the day, but it'll always hold a little special place.
Of course,
in my heart.
Yeah.
I forget what else I was gonna say about it, but yeah. So
but that's super dupe. So we went from Dobby to talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. This is
tangent is real.
So but now we got to get into the meat and potatoes, the main course. All right. So obviously the two things, or the one thing that the two of us have in common, just Nerdcore in general. Mm-hmm. Actually, we probably have more in common than that, but the two things that brought us, the one thing that brought us here together today. So I gotta ask, how I always ask people, how did you stumble across the world that is the Nerdcore community?
I love this question, and I was so hoping you were gonna ask. So, how I stumbled across into the Nerdcore community was one of my friends at the time. They had stumbled upon the Tracer versus Scout rap battle by JT Music.
Of course, yep.
And at that time, obviously Overwatch was like really big and had just come out, and we were like really interested in the characters.
Mhm.
So that was the first thing. And then we kind of just followed JT because they were really banking off of, they were really putting out Overwatch and FNAF music, because FNAF was also really big at the time, because this was 2017. So this
Okay,
was
yep.
like peak.
Yep.
And I don't know. I just really fell in love with JT's style,
Yep.
and how it wasn't just like, the way that I described it at the time was, I was like, yeah, it's about video games, but I was like, it's an actual song. Like, it's not like a song. It's not like a jingle that you'd hear in a show, or like a theme song that you would hear at a show. I'm
Yep.
like, it is a genuine song that has a first verse, second verse,
Yep.
breakdown, chorus, the whole 9 yards. So it was mainly only JT Music for about 2 years.
Oh,
And then,
damn.
and I kind of, I heard of like other artists
Yeah.
because they featured with them, like DA Games. Who else worked with them? I can't remember. But then in 2019, I met Phaedra.
The infamous duo.
The infamous
you can't.
Phaedra.
I feel like you can't mention Tay-Pat. You can't mention ThatAmethystWitch if without mentioning King Phaedra somewhere behind in the footnotes.
He is one of my favoriteest people ever. So
I'm sorry about that.
You would say the same thing.
He's gonna see this. I was gonna say he's gonna see this. And he's gonna hate me.
I want him to see it, specifically this section.
Yeah, and I'll clip this. I'll clip this part and I'll send it to him directly.
But so we met in 2019, and then our friendship really like kicked off in like late 2019, early 2020. No. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Anyway, so I specifically remember, I don't know why, but I remember him mentioning, we were talking about, so we work at the same company.
Yeah.
And our company had like this like instant messaging like system, and I remember being at work and we were talking about something, and I remember him mentioning NPC, and I was like, hold up, because this was after NPC 2019. I was like, wait a minute, how do you know about NPC? So then I was like, how do you know about Nerdcore music? How do you know about JT Music? Like that whole thing. And I was like, oh my god, this other person,
she had an epiphany.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit. So we really bonded over that. And then when I had joined his server when it was first made, that's when like, I was hearing Divide Music for the first time and hearing Fable for the first time.
Oh Lord.
So I remember, and it was around that time is when I started doing reaction videos, but it was like reactions to like, obviously not Nerdcore, but it was like reactions to like bands that I listened to at the time.
Oh yeah.
So like Grayscale, Halsey, and all that fun jazz. And the first quote unquote Nerdcore reaction that I did was Amelie's album, Unity, where it was all feature tracks. And I remember Faye saying, you should do that more often to Nerdcore artists because they love that shit. Because at this point in time was when he was very active in Divide server and very active in the community. So I was like, okay. So one night, I don't know. I can't remember if this was an impulse. I can't remember if this was like an impulse or if I thought about this. Actually, I'm going to back up.
Oh.
So because I can't tell the story of my first Divide reaction without telling you the first Divide song that I heard.
Okay.
So I was in the car heading back from a trip that I was on with my dad and my brother.
Okay.
And I'm listening to music and I'm like, oh, now's the perfect time for me to check out Divide Music. So I knew that he had just released a Zuko track, which we now know and love as No Way Out.
See, hot take. I mean, even his new one, I haven't listened to either of them.
It's beautiful, and I highly recommend it.
I need to. I need to. I've listened to a lot of Device, like stemming all the way back, but for some reason, I feel like because back then I was under the connotation where it's just like, oh, I don't know much about the character, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna. So the track won't hit. Like if I listen to it, it won't hit the same as if I did. So I was just like, I won't listen to it, and then if I somehow, because I haven't watched, I haven't seen Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That's people hate me for it, but I haven't seen. So it's just like I wanted. So if I ever did, I would come back and watch it because I feel like it would hit the first time listen would hit a lot better if I did. Nowadays, I'll listen to anything because at the end of the day, I like supporting good music. But back then, I kind of had that just like I don't know much about the characters, so I'll
I
hold
used to have
off
that
until
same thought
yeah.
process. But from a music appreciation standpoint, highly recommend it. It is a beautiful song.
Mhm.
But that was the first Divide song that I heard. And then the second one was his Shigaraki song, which was
Oh, yep.
All for One at the time. So one night, I definitely feel like it was an impulse decision. I was like, I'm going to do a Divide reaction and I'm going to do it right now. Now, I didn't have a setup.
Yeah.
I literally screen recorded on my phone and linked the audio up from like, because I just had like this rinky dink video camera
Mhm.
and that's what I recorded it on. And I linked that up with the video and it worked for a while. So the Divide reaction that I did, it was Foxin,
Oh,
which was a song
classic.
about Bond.
Yep.
Into the Dark, which was his
Ooh,
overhaul song.
the first
And then
the first Divide track that I really fell in love with was
mhm.
that one. Yeah.
And then I saved this one for last because
Is it
I
Uncle
knew it
Iroh?
was
Is it Uncle?
yes. It was Find Your Way about Uncle Iroh. And even now, like I listened to that song to record my Showing You Nerdcore series, and I re-listened to the songs that I plan on like showcasing
Mhm.
just to kind of like really get it fresh in my brain, and then I kind of like write the notes about it and then I record it.
Yep.
So even now, 4 years later nearly, I sobbed because of just how beautiful and emotionally charged that song was, and how how impactful Iroh was to me
Mhm.
growing up, and how impactful he has been to pretty much the generation that grew up with Avatar.
Yep.
So, obviously, the first time hearing that, I sobbed a little bit harder. And that video is now at, I believe, 9,000 views in 4 years. 9,000 people, I believe, have seen me cry like a bitch on the internet.
Damn it, I haven't seen it. God damn.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. But that resonated with so many people
Oh, of course.
because I pretty much popped out of nowhere. Like, I'm not kidding you. I popped out of nowhere. So much so when I posted that video, Faye was in a call with Divide in his server. And Divide was like, "What's this?" And then he saw it. Faye obviously saw it. And it just blew up. And then I blew up in the community very quickly. And I was not expecting that sort of reception, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
Because had I hadn't had any really like overwhelmingly positive reactions or interactions with people on the internet, and I had never experienced a loving community, and I've been a part of quite a few.
Yep.
And that's why like I love this community so much, is because there's no competition. There's no like petty rivalries. Like everybody supports everybody. Everybody loves everybody. Like, and we are so quick to shut down bullshit like that,
Yep.
because like obviously like you have a good community like this, people are going to want to forever reason like stir the pot and stir shit. And the way that we either outwardly are just like no, or we turn it into a meme.
Yeah.
And I genuinely feel safe in this community, whereas the one that I was in previously, absolutely not.
I feel that. And I feel where you're coming from because I don't. Before I say this, I haven't coined this, but I've many people have told me that I kind of had the same thing where I just like I've kind of just came out of nowhere. Like I've been doing reactions since early 2022, but since last October, I can pinpoint it because it's when I started doing like opening up like reactions and just reacting to everyone and everything, and where it's just like now suddenly I'm just like people that have like bigger artists that I have never interacted with before start seeing my stuff and start like I have starting interactions, and I'm just like I just come out like I'm just this dude that just came out of nowhere who's like this goofy, just semi funny, just this dude who just came, like I said, came out of the blue, and like I love to go further on what you were saying with like the community. And I agree with everything that you said, that this community is very like welcoming and just very, for the most part, because like I said, we're not going to bring them any of it, but there's been times where some things came up or whatever, drama wise, but for the most part, it's a pretty wholesome community. I think I seen it the other day where I think it was Nina. Shout out to Nina Hope if she watches this later. But I saw her post something on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. But it's just like your experience in Nerdcore depends on how you are as a person, right? So if like if you're overall pretty positive, wholesome person, that's what you're gonna get when you went while you're in Nerdcore. But if you're like those type of people who are always searching for drama, toxic or something like that, obviously that's always gonna be your outlook, and that's how you're gonna look at it from that point of view. So I think Nina coined that very well, and I feel like that kind of sums it up to a T about this community, because like there's people who's just like that like to stir stuff or whatever, like to look. But it's just like I've never had a problem, like because I know that like I said, I react to a lot of smaller people or whatever, and I ain't gonna lie, the amount of just like, oh, this person doesn't like this person doesn't like these, but it's just like I've never had a problem because I stay out of stuff like that. Like I'm just trying to spread positivity and happiness. That's my motto. So it's just like I haven't never received anything negative back because that's what I put in. So I feel like Nina kind of coined it very, very perfectly, saying that it's just kind of Nerdcore is pretty much how you are and how you act is what you're gonna get in return. So,
yeah, it's essentially you attract what you put out in this community.
Exactly.
I never thought of it that way because same thing. I never really had a problem with anybody in the community.
Yeah.
And I don't really like look for it.
Yeah.
Like of course there's the initial like, oh my god, something happened, like the nosiness sometimes. But then it's like I'm gonna stay out of it.
Yeah,
like,
I see everything that go like I'm religiously online. Like I see everything.
I live there.
I see everything, but I just don't involve myself because one, I'm not like a drama thirsty person. Like I like to just be like I like interacting with people. Don't get it twisted, but I also like to be in my own lane, kind of doing my own thing, because then like I don't have to worry about like, oh, like I'm making this person upset and making like if I just do what I'm doing, I just stay in my own lane. I can't upset anybody. I don't have to worry about anything like that. So I feel like a lot of like I said, I keep going back to what Nina said, but it's just like that's like a perfect way. And I personally have never understood, and I just kind of just brush it off to the side and just like, hey, good for you. Like, good for if that's what you want to do. Good for you. I'm gonna stay away from it, right? Because that's not I don't want to be around that type of energy. I don't want to involve myself. Like it's just because that's not who I am. That's not who I am at the end of the day. And it's just like and that's why I enjoy this community, and that's why I've made genuine like friends that I could see being friends. It's like IRL. Like I could go hang. I could go. Obviously, I live in the middle of nowhere, so I can't actually do that. But I could legitimately just like I can call some of these guys like legitimate friends, and that's all because of this community. So I will be forever grateful for this community and everything that is done, not only to me but just everybody who's involved with it, because Nerdcore isn't just like music. Like I said, it's a community, right? It's a pretty much a community of friends, homies, like acquaintances, whatever the relationship. It's just an overall community of people, and it's just like I just enjoy it so much, and I will be forever grateful for the people who have welcomed me in and show love, and I will forever show that love back in the best way that I can. But no, shout out to this community, shout out to everybody who's a part of it. Overall dope ass community, and I just can't wait to see where things go from here. The sky's the limit.
Literally. But yeah, no, just to like kind of carry off of like, people like picking problems with other people. I'm kind of the thought process of how is that going to make you any better? Like, how is like tearing down another artist isn't going to make your craft any better.
Yeah.
Tearing down another person is not going to make who you are better. Like, and I've heard it a lot. Hurt people.
Yeah.
Or at least try to. But, and it's like, I'm sorry for whatever you are going through that is making you treat other people that way. And I mean, as we were talking about before we started recording, I work in a customer service job.
Yep.
And of course I deal with people like that on the daily. And I've kind of learned to not be angry with them, but like almost feel sorry for them.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm really sorry about whatever's going on with you that makes you feel the need to come in here and ruin my mood or ruin one of my coworkers' moods.
Yep.
So,
and
yeah.
Like that's how normally I am too, because how I am obviously like online is me how I am out in the real world. It might be dialed up a little bit because it's online. I'm a content creator. I gotta be entertaining. So I might turn the dial a little bit.
Yeah.
But how I am here is how I am out there. So I always try to spread love and positivity whenever out. And I'm not BS when I say the amount of people who are legit get upset with me because I'm not an angry person. I never get angry. Like I'm a pretty level-headed person and pretty calm most of the time. And people legitimately they don't like that. I don't get it, but people don't like the fact that it's just like, dude, why don't you ever get angry? Like I would be fuming or something. So it's like, because it's not worth it to get angry. What is that going to do? Like
exactly. Like
what
person,
it's not going to make the situation any better. So like what?
Exactly. Something my dad always said to me, especially when I started working in customer service, was not to let a customer ruin your day, because they're not going to go home and think about how they made you feel.
Yeah.
So why should you donate more of your time and energy to them?
Exactly.
So,
another thing that I wanted to bring up is because yes, you are kind of like a nerdcore reactor, just streamer, just overall, just like I said, just a homie. But what some people, your community obviously will know about this, but so what some people outside of your community might not know is that you are also musically talented as well. Because if for the people who might not be familiar with Miss ThatAmethystWitch, she's got a couple of songs on her repertoire too, and I don't know if it's just because, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they might all be covers, but still, that you can sing like with the best of them. Don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted. So how did you get into becoming the singer that you are? Were you like in choir growing up, or was it just kind of one of those things that just...
So I've always been the creative musical one out of my siblings.
Mhm.
And my brother got the brains. Homie graduated with a 4.0 in freaking high school, so he got the brains, I got the other half. But music has always been a love of mine
Mhm.
for as long as I can remember. As cliche as that sounds, like,
Of course.
for as long as I have been cognitively aware of my existence on this earth, music has always been a love and a passion of mine.
Yep.
So when I was a kid, I obviously, I had ambitions of being a pop star.
Of
I
course.
would have these little concerts. My dad would like be sitting on the couch in the living room with my stuffed
Did
animals
you have
or
one of those fake
something.
microphones too that you performed?
Yes, I had several, and like I even had them like well into my teens too. But growing up, like, I remember I was in a creative arts camp,
Mhm.
which was, it was mainly more of like an acting camp and
Yeah.
being doing plays and whatnot. Um, and then for whatever reason, when I left middle school, because in middle school I was in band and I was in chorus, but for some reason, when I went into high school,
Mhm.
I just wasn't in either of them. And sometimes I regret that choice because I would have loved to have been in musicals. Like I was in middle school, but like I know it's called drama club, but the amount of drama that I heard come out of there, because I had a few friends that were in it, the amount of drama that goes on in drama class, like it's like screw the plays, let's put the actual like drama that's going on stage.
Let's put the beef, man. This will be
For
way
real.
more engaged.
Like, come on. But yeah, I don't know. But I always like, so I had started my YouTube channel back in 2011, I believe. And I posted like really awful, shitty covers that I filmed on my iPhone 3 at the time.
Oh my god.
But it was still there.
Yeah.
And the first one that blew up was I did a cover of an acapella cover of Shower by Becky G, because
That's a bang, dude. I'm not even gonna
oh,
lie. More Dean lore. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I went through a Becky G phase.
so did I.
I went through
So did I.
Becky G is so fucking talented. I remember
Oh my god.
I was singing Shower in the shower. That like
What other way to do it? Come on. Okay, so I found her because I used to be obsessed with Cody Simpson. Cody Simpson did a song with her, Wish You Were Here. And then I was like, hey, this girl rocks. I'm going to look into her a little bit. So this was 2013, was when she was like my top artist.
Yeah.
And she released Shower in mid 2014, because I remember it was the summer between my junior and senior year.
Yep.
And I don't remember when I posted the cover, and I didn't even do this on purpose, but I heard Shower before it like really gained popularity when it was first released, because I followed her religiously.
Yep.
So I was like, cool, I'm going to post a cover to this. And it garnered like 10K
Oh damn.
last time I checked. And then when I completely like cleaned out my channel, obviously it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh shit, what is going on? So nothing really ever came of that, which fine, whatever. But still, it was like a thing. So I'd always been posting covers for a while. And then when I was doing reactions, because I always wanted my channel to be centered around music in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Whether it be like covers and like original music, or it be like a music discussion site, music review, like something like that. So I guess reactions, that's where it's at.
Yep.
But I always still wanted to post covers. So in 2019, I think was when I bought my first recording setup, which was with my MacBook, which I actually do still use, and a crappy USB microphone. And I was recording into GarageBand, which I still do. Don't come for me, producers, but I still do that.
Hey, there's some people who record in Audacity, which is wild if you know what that is.
I know. I
and
hadn't seen Audacity in years.
so it's just there's like there's people work with some wild things. So it's not so saying that you worked at GarageBand. I feel like nowadays isn't as bad as people would make it out to be.
When I told my friend Dragon, they actually mixed and mastered my cover of Edge of Dawn. When I told
Banger
them that I use GarageBand, they were like, Tay. And I was like, don't come for me right now. I'm working on it. It's not a priority right now. It still works very well. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Type of
and it would
mindset.
help maybe if the DAWs as music producers weren't hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and maybe we could have they could have proper music software creator people out there who might be watching this later down the line. Make your stuff cheaper.
Yeah, please. Thanks. But anyway, so what was the first cover that I recorded on it? Oh, the first cover I recorded with my microphone and recording setup was Gasoline by Halsey.
Banger. I remember that. Yep.
Yep. And then it kind of just like went from there.
Yep.
So I did record, I think I said this like before, but I did record a cover of Edge of Dawn in 2019 when the game came out.
Yep.
Of Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then I really, for whatever reason, I really wanted to re-record it with the resources and connections that I have now. So I hit up my buddy, Abby Max.
Shout out to him.
Hey, honestly, talented. Please recommend.
I have a couple of instrumentals I put in the background of my videos from him. So shout out to him as well.
For reference.
And it was actually Tapad who put me onto him. So no, not trying to brag.
Hey. But yeah, so he produced that. I obviously recorded the vocals, and then Dragon did the mixing and mastering, and it turned out better than I even expected.
It's still a banger, bro. I remember the first time I listened to it, I was so blown away by it. I was so fucking blown away by it, because that was like the first time. Like I knew you made covers, but that was like the first time I ever actually like listened to a cover of yours, and I was just absolutely just fucking blown away by it. You absolutely fucking hit that out of the park. So good shit, Dave.
Thank you. That warms my heart, and it really meant a lot to me, because Fire Emblem Three Houses is what really like kickstarted my passion for voice acting, because it was just beautiful. But also, I knew that I wanted to dedicate that cover to Billy Kometz.
Yeah,
because he voices Ferdinand von Ayer in there, and he was what I would call a sunshine. So
yep.
But that was the last cover I think I posted, and I'm currently working on another one, also produced by Abby.
Peep Lounge exclusive right here. We're getting the Peep Lounge exclusives. Okay.
But I just finished the main vocals, and I think I do need to go back and record like a couple takes, like pick the ones that are my favorites, record the backup vocals and fun stuff, and then I need to find somebody to mix and master. So
yep.
I don't know.
I can't wait to check it out.
Oh, I'm so excited for it. It's a really good song. But I will say that out of that came I don't know how familiar you are with Rain, or Rain as he is.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think I know where you're going with this, because I think I saw little inklings of it pop up on my Twitter X feed.
So Rain hits me up one fateful day in December, and he was like, Tay. And it was like, Rain. And he's like, listen, I know you do covers, and I know you can sing. Would you be interested in being on a cipher of mine? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So, and he's already announced it, so it's not a big deal. And who knows?
Is it out yet?
Time this is posted? No, I think he's posting the Fire users first.
Okay.
Because that's what the people wanted. But so,
shame on you people. Shame on you people. Shame. I'm kidding.
Save the best for last, you know?
Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind. Good for you, people. Good for you.
No shade. But yeah, so I am on Rain's Water Users of Anime Cipher as Aqua from Konosuba.
Oh
and
my!
It was yeah.
I fucking love that show so fucking much. It's so good. Oh, now you just got me super hyped up for it because I fucking love that show, bro. That's one of my favorite comedy animes of
I love
all
it too.
time. Is so fucking. Oh, dude. Now you see, now you got me fucking hyped for it because, oh, dude, that's one of my favorite characters, bro.
Listen, all I ask is if anybody needs somebody to do anything for Darkness, please hit me up.
Damn.
I love her.
Oh, Darkness is so good. Dude, all the characters are just so fucking
They
good,
are
bro.
so good.
Like
but I would
Wiz.
have to say, I would have to say Darkness and then Aqua.
Oh
but
yeah.
when I told Faye that I was doing a verse for Aqua, he was like, "Yeah, that scans."
Yeah.
Because apparently we're a lot alike. So
I could see similarities.
But so
Chaotic.
Rain wrote the verse because I can't write lyrics to save my life, although I am currently learning how to songwrite and write better lyrics. So, but he wrote it, and oh my gosh, he came up with really good ones. So he sent me a rough mix of what they had in the works, and it sounded great. So I told him that when it drops, I'm like, I hope you know I'm reacting to this because I
Of
can't
course.
not do a reaction to a song that I'm on.
Of course. And funny thing, because what they, because like I said, I've kind of just been more of a big like growing figure in the community, and with that, like, because for the people out there, I am not musically inclined in the slightest. Absolutely, I'm learning music production though, so shout out me for that. But at the moment, not musically inclined to, but the amount of messages that it gets, like, hey, you want to be, hey, I feel like you'd be good on the cipher. Hey, like, I feel like you want to be on this track. Hey, you want to be like, I'm honored that you think that I would be good, but there's like, there's got to be way better people out there than me because like, there's plenty of people that's just like, hey, I'm going to get you on this track one day. I'm going to get you. And it got to the point where it's just like, you know what? Screw it. I posted on Twitter. And I was just like, hey, if anybody out there can guess my favorite anime or my favorite game, if they help me write the verse, I'll be on a track. And the amount of people that brought to, dude, it's just, I don't know what it is.
Somebody got it.
Oh, somebody got it. Yeah, somebody got it. So somebody got it. So eventually at some point you will see your boy. I don't know when, just sometime in the future. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they're part of Seko Maho's Indigo. Yeah. Dude, and shout out to, and it's almost like a full circle thing, because when I first started doing reactions, one of the first people, because I would do reactions, and you know how some people like watch the reactions, leave a comment, and so Indigo was one of the first people who did that, and one of the first people I actually like truly like got close with in the community. And the fact that it went almost like full circle, where it's just like, now there's a potential where I'm just gonna be a part of my first track with him. It's almost like a full circle moment. So I don't know when it is he knows about it. He says we got to work on it soon. But I was just like, I can't write for anything. But hell, I here's the thing. I'm a car performer. I'm a car and shower performer. Like I'll sing along. I'll rap along. Whatever. I can't say it'll be very good. But everybody says that's what auto tune's for. So I don't know what kind of thing is gonna go down. I just know that he has the rights to the first ever Dean verse. So Indigo, if you happen to just be watching this right now, let me know when, where, the when, where, why's, how's. Just let me know. But it's just one of those things that I don't get it. People just want me to be a part. It's like, I'm not, dude. You could get so many talented people. You could get Tay for example on it. Like Tay would be like 10 times better of a choice than me. But so I just got to the point where it's just like, you know what? Screw it. If people want it, I'll give it to them. And I got a feeling when I do it, like when that track comes out, then it's gonna be even worse.
I hope it is. Well, like, I feel like it's definitely because of like the energy that you bring to the table and your voice.
My voice.
Oh yeah. So I feel like we often underestimate the importance that our vocal tone has,
Mhm.
even as individuals. So like you have a very like distinct voice that very much matches your personality. Like your voice is very like what I would call it like you have a very bright voice. Like if I had to put like a
Mhm.
like adjective, like it's
Yeah.
bright, it's very positive, it's very like uplifting, and it matches your personality.
Now just
So
watch. I'm gonna be on a track sounding like Corpse Husband or something.
dude, no, okay. Speaking
Oh
of
no,
which,
no! I brought something out of tape. Okay, I'm sorry in advance.
no.
I'm sorry in advance.
So I'm not talking about Corpse. I'm gonna talk about McGuire for a second.
Oh.
Because when I first heard McGuire, who
Mhm.
is now one of my closest friends,
Of
and
course.
I absolutely adore him.
Mhm.
The first time I heard him was on Shining Like Diamonds by Rustage, and it was Rustage's Josuke rep, and it was a very like lighthearted, uplifting, very laid back, positive kind of song. And so after that, I was like, dude, this guy sounds incredible. I need to check him out. So a lot of McGuire's music that I had heard, it was that same kind of a vibe. It was very laid back. It
Yeah.
was very chill, very like, kind of like positive vibes.
Mhm.
Then DPS drops Fallen,
Oh.
his Dobby track.
Yep. The
And
infamous track. Yep.
to hear McGuire's vocals in kind of like a darker setting and more serious and very kind of like not what I thought it was jarring to me. It
Mhm.
was great. And to hear McGuire on like more kind of like serious, darker songs, like his Dobby track, which is Die a Sinner,
Yeah.
that blew my mind because he very much experimented with gravelly deep vocals on that.
Mhm.
And I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
McGuire's just
So
fucking talented, bro. I swear to God.
he's one of my favorites. Completely unbiased, one of my favorites.
I think there's a little
But
bit of bias, isn't it? No, I'm
but that's what reminded me of it because like, I wouldn't be surprised. Like you're going to come like the first track probably is going to be like some like evil dark
nah.
track.
You want to know what it's gonna be?
Hmm.
Ass. No,
Nah, you sell yourself short, dude.
but I gotta bring this up because I saw it earlier, but because you mentioned that the Dobby Fallen track from DPS, I gotta point out how much I hate you because in a respectful way. Because,
I respectfully hate you.
yeah, respectfully, I hate you because your concept of the nerdcore showcasing, that's such a good idea, and I hate that I didn't fucking think of it first.
Thank you.
That's such a good fuck. I remember seeing the first video that you did. I was like, bro. I think I even commented, was like, bro, fuck. I was just like, damn, it was right there. Oh, dude, I was just like, this is such a good idea, and I was just like, fuck. Like, luckily, have stuff like this or whatever that I could call mine or whatever. But it's just like, damn, that's such a good idea. So shout out to you for coming up with it because it's a fucking banger idea.
So fun fact, that was a shower thought.
Of course.
That was I'm in the middle of shampooing my hair and boom, oh my god, what if? Because a lot of times, and I think I got it because I was watching TikTok beforehand, and a lot of times like I'll see videos where it's like showing you popular TikTok songs and what they actually are.
Yep.
So I don't know why, but that had me thinking of how many nerdcore tracks have gone viral. Like Stupendium, they've gone viral a couple times.
I know Game Boy Jones for the Uraraka one.
That blew up. That was trending. At least 2 JT songs that I know of were trending. So I'm like, you know what? And I just got ideas for the next ones too.
just you're welcome. So if you see her post just a random bunch of nerdcore showcases, she thought of them here. So you're welcome, Tape Pads community.
But I was like, oh my god, what if I do this for nerdcore music? Because I do share like snippets of or clips of my reactions that I've posted.
Yep.
So it's like, well, what if I show people not just the songs I'm reacting to, but the songs that I feel really would resonate with people and that really resonate with me. And plus, I feel like it gives me another opportunity to really kind of like talk about the dynamics of songs, because that's what I went to school for. I went to school for music and sound production. And I was like, okay, well, how can I still like put this knowledge to use other than with my own stuff?
Yeah.
So, and like, I don't know everything. I'm never gonna know
Yeah.
everything, but I feel like I have a deeper appreciation for music after learning this stuff. And because it's not just playing a guitar and singing into a microphone, like
Yeah.
there's so much more that goes
Oh,
into it.
absolutely.
So with the showing you nerdcore, I feel like it gives me more of like, hey, like not only is this about this awesome character that I feel a lot of us like, but it's also got incredible vocals. It has amazing backing vocals, insane mixing,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it gives me another chance to geek out, but it also, to me, I feel like it also gives me a sense of I'm bringing more attention to this amazing community that has been nothing but loving to me. So, but yeah, no, that was a shower thought.
Dude, it's such a
I was
banger idea, and I hate it. And I like the idea because that's why I do like Peep Lounge episodes like these. Everybody calls it a podcast, but I've never considered this a podcast. And like I just started up my Peep show, which was Nerdcore Jeopardy. And that's why I bring people, because I want to showcase. Like obviously people listen to the nerdcore music, right? But I want people to see what they are, like the musicians are when like outside,
not in the booth.
when they're not, put like a face to a person, put like a personality to the person, just try to get build more of a connection between artist and listener. And that's the one thing that is just like, plus if I can use, I'm not trying to say like I'm like a bigger like content creator, but if I could use my platform to like help bring other people up too. And that's why I started doing like these open reactions, because there's a lot of people who are super talented that I would never have found if I didn't do like this like open like reactions a lot more. That is just like I'm happy now that I've given them a platform, because like I said, there's some hidden gems in nerdcore. Like shout out to like I think I posted on Twitter, because I posted like asked me anonymous questions, and somebody asked me like, hey, name your top 5 like up and coming artists. That list, that was the easiest list I ever made in my life. Like Red Rob, I had him on a previous Peep Lounge episode. He had a recent song go blow up. People like I don't know if you know, I'm gonna list off names and you might not know, but people like Miracle, Red Rob, Suyo. Oh, by the way, Suyo says hey.
Hi.
He told me to say hey before I joined, because I was with him before I did this. But people like that, where it's just like there's so many talented people that if I could just bring whatever size my audience is over to them, that it's a W, because I've always prided myself as like, yeah, obviously I want to grow, right? But I've always been the type of people that I want everybody around me to grow as well, because at the end of the day, like we said, like we were talking about earlier, we're a community. And I've never seen it as like competition or anything. Like obviously, like there's even like a community of reactors. There's a bunch of us. There's literally
so many.
There's so many, and never once did I ever look at it just as competition and whatnot. Like I'm just like, if anything, because people like you. Shout out to people like you. Shout out to people like What It Do Dave. Shout out to people like the Otaku Couple, because those are you guys are people that like before, when I started doing this, that I looked up to in the reaction space doing this. So if anything, I try to take, like I keep up with everything. Like I'm everywhere. Like I said, I live vicariously on the internet. So I watch everything. I'm learning, right? So I do what I like to do, like the yoink and twist. Like I try to take things that people are doing and put my own taste on, or twist on them. And so I'm trying to like I intake all this. I try to learn from all you guys, because like I said, a lot of you guys are the reasons why I got into doing this. And because like I said, I've never seen it as like a competition where it's just like, oh, like I'm trying to be better than, I'm trying to grow faster than this person. I'm trying to get more views than that person. I've never seen it at that. I've seen you guys as like a learning tool. It's just like, oh, this person's doing this. This is working. What if I tried doing this?
Mhm.
And so, because at the end of the day, like I said, we're a community. We all got to try to like. If I can use that my platform for everybody around me to grow, then at the end of the day, it's a W at however you see it.
Mhm.
And um, yeah, so it's just that's kind of how I've just always like pursued my content. And even like outside, like because I stream too or whatever, and I play games and stream and do all that stuff, and I have actually a community as well who's not nerdcore, right? They're not, and it's the same thing. Whenever I do the same thing where I just like if I can use my platform and put other people and just we can all grow together, then at the end of the day, it's a win for everybody. And that's why I like doing stuff like this, putting people in front in a different light in front of like their audience or whatever, just to build more of that connection and more of a relationship between artist and listener, because I feel like that strength it can strengthen a community and really make a bond between artist and listener that you might not have gotten beforehand because they never had that outlet to show off themselves or anything like that. So I try to I pride myself on stuff like this Peep Lounge where people, like I said, even with you, like there's some people who might not have seen you outside like your content. So just like they've never gotten the deep dive into Tay-Pat as a person. So the people who are already fans of you can like they can build that they have that more of that connection with you. And I feel like sometimes that's just like it means more to like that connection means more to a lot of people than most people think.
Oh, yeah.
And that's I've always loved doing that. I've always loved doing that.
Yeah. Shit. I forgot what I was gonna say. It came into my head and then it left.
No worries. I will say the last main question that I have for you, and this one's probably gonna be the deepest question that I ask you, because as content creators, both me and myself, obviously I've gone through my fair share of these two, but what do you do when you're just like, because obviously as content creators, like the motivation to create and the motivation to do like reactions in our case or anything like related to our like what we do, the motivation can come and go, right? So how do you keep yourself on that path where like like is it do you just like, hey, I'm gonna take a break and then I'll come back, or do you have like a method or anything like that you use to keep going, just like, hey, I gotta do this, I gotta do that? Like what do you do to keep make it so like you can keep consistent with what you're doing and go about your content?
It's pretty much knowing when I need to take a step back.
Yeah.
Because as any content creator or artist or anybody who makes anything for the enjoyment of others,
Yeah.
it takes a lot out of you.
Oh, absolutely.
And especially when you're just starting out, you're kind of like on that grind.
Hmm.
So with me, it was kind of like I had to have a conversation with myself and be like, and I think it was probably about 2 years ago, I had noticed while recording reactions and editing them that the energy's just not there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, personally, I wouldn't watch this. So that's when I had my first epiphany, like, all right, I need to take a step back. And I think I went on like a couple weeks break to kind of like take a breather, and then I came back to it.
Hmm.
But like now it's not that bad, because if I know going into like a weekend, because I typically record on the weekends, going into a weekend when everybody drops or when people are dropping, but the energy for me is just not there, then I'm like, I can't.
Hmm.
Like the motivation, like I'm like, okay, I'm at a point where I'm just gonna take this week off from content creation.
Yeah.
And what's amazing is my community, I feel, has that understanding, because they'll always be like, take your time, like feel better. Like, we'll be here when you get back. Like,
Mhm.
we understand, because I feel like a lot of us know what that feels like. Even non-content creators, just normal, just like, I don't want to say normal people because we're
Yeah.
all normal people, but
Yeah.
like, like people who don't create content, like, of course, they probably deal with it too, with
Yeah.
school or work. Now, granted, some things you can't take a break from, but like I feel like we all just understand that.
Yeah.
And we understand that work isn't our life. In like, no matter how much you enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it also just helps for me to have like my role models and inspirations, like, just either in my head or I just see them on my feed. So like, one of my favorite content creators is this woman named Palpura. She's mainly a streamer,
Yeah.
but she posts a lot of content creation, streaming advice content on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. And I take a lot of her advice to heart, and one in particular was prioritizing your mental health
Of course. Yeah.
over content creation.
Yep.
And honestly, with me, it's just taking a step back.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just get like the urge to just create.
Mhm.
So
And
it's
oops, sorry.
understanding. I think it's just like understanding, like, I still don't understand my brain, but it's kind of like understanding my brain. It's like, okay, I'm feeling this coming on. These are the steps I'm going to take to either prevent it or work with it, not
Yeah.
against it.
Yeah.
So,
And the reason why I ask, because I know some people, especially in the content creation space, like I said, where it's just like, as a content creator, like, a lot of people fear, like, oh, if I take a break, I'll be forgotten. The algorithm, like, I'll ruin all the hard work that they've been grinding for, because it's all algorithmic. Like, if you don't post, like, it's like, oh,
yep.
so it's just like, some people fear that, so they'll like legitimately just like, they feel like they can't take a break because then they'll just be lost in the shuffle. And I almost kind of felt the same way, because like I said, as my community lately has been growing massively, right? I've gotten a lot more eyes on me, and I'm trying to think of, like, trying to keep up with everything, and I've been trying to come up with new ideas. That's how I came up with the Peep Lounge, the Peep Show. All that. I'm trying to do all this stuff, whatever, to try to keep up with it, and it got to the point where it was like the stress of everything was affecting my personal life, my health, like, all of that. But I was like, I had that fear, just like, oh, but if I take a break now, whatever, all this growth that I've been getting recently will just stop. But thankfully, I realized that it's just like, hey, this break is more important. So I took a couple week break. That I came back last week. I took a 2 week break. And I've got nothing but support when I announced the break too. So shout out to everybody. But it just got to the point, because, like I said, I do open reactions. I was reacting to like 30 to 40 songs a weekend, put on top of like my normal editing for YouTube, my normal streams, all that, whatever. And it was getting to the point where it's just a lot, and it was just affecting aspects of my life. So I was just like, I'm gonna take a couple week break. I'm gonna reevaluate some things. So now that I'm back, I'm just like, I'm putting, as much as I love reacting to everybody, I'm putting like amount limits. So I'm like not doing so much. I'm not reacting to so much. So I'm not like worrying about as much things, whatever, just because at the end of the day, as much as I love making content and I want to continue to grow, at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than me and my mental, physical, emotional, all of that. And I feel like some people don't take advantage, like, they don't, like, they realize that they need to do it, but they're scared to.
Yeah.
So that's why I ask if you kind of deal with that, kind of like that same thing, or if you're just like, hey, if I need to take a break, I have no problem stepping back, or if it's like you have like a fear of like being forgotten or lost in the shuffle or anything like that. Because I know some people, everybody's brains work differently on something like this. So I wanted to pick your brain and see how your thought process going into it and how you went about doing it. So that's good. That's good that you can pick up on that. Like, hey, like, my energy, like my mental health or my health might not be up to par one day, and it's just like, hey, I'm gonna just take a step back. I'm gonna take a week, two, even like up to a day. Sometimes even a day will work.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I do still have the fear, like, oh my gosh, like it's kind of also in tandem with the fear of missing out, and it's like, oh my
Oh
gosh,
yeah.
like I'm missing out on all of these interactions, or it's oh my gosh, like I'm the whole algorithm fear, because unfortunately that is the case of being a content creator,
Yeah.
is you are a slave to the algorithms. Um but like it was that same, being that obsessive with it in the beginning is what led to my content not being the best.
Mhm.
And the mindset that I have is, if I don't like it, why would I expect anybody else to like it? And I'm
Yeah.
also of the same mindset of, I'm just posting what I want, and if people like it, people like it.
Yep.
But that's where the whole like, well, if I don't like it, I'm not going to post it kind of like comes in.
Yep.
So when I was noticing these videos and I'm just sitting there like this and I don't really have a whole lot to say, I'm like, I wouldn't watch this.
Mhm.
Why should I expect anybody else to do it?
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, it's because the spark isn't there. I need to take a step back.
Yeah.
Now, if the and unfortunately, because of the way my schedule is, I really only have certain times to record.
Yeah.
So I typically will record either on a Saturday or a Sunday. Now, if I don't have time to record or anything like that, luckily I also have my Twitch platform, and I kind of started streaming as a way to communicate with my community that I had built from the reactions, like
Mhm.
a little bit more.
Yep.
And even so, like I've even gotten like a few people just from streaming alone. But like if I'm not able to create that content for them, I'll probably stream, like I usually stream on Saturdays anyway, but I'll stream like maybe like on a day like during the week, and just like do a 1 hour just chatting and catch up with everybody,
Yep.
because it's still me interacting with them in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
So whether it be I'm interacting with them in my server, I'm interacting with them on Twitter, or in the comment section of my videos, or in stream chat. Like it's more or less like a, hey, I'm here type of deal.
Yep.
But that's also, that's where I feel like unfortunately you have to be on multiple platforms now
Yeah.
to kind of like get going.
Yeah.
And obviously TikTok is the big one now. But also Instagram is still a thing.
Mhm.
YouTube Shorts is definitely good for creators like us, and just creators on YouTube in general,
Yep.
because that has gotten me so many subscribers. Like I've
Absolutely.
seen genuine growth because of my shorts that I post. Um but I've also been taking a course in social media marketing, just to kind of like, one, tack onto my resume, but also for my own professional use with content creation.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like a, what is it? You don't need to be on every single social platform.
Yeah.
You just need to be a part of the conversation.
Oh, of course.
So
Yeah.
so that's why like my main three obviously are YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. And kind of like bringing everyone's attention like to the different platforms to kind of like grow the community a little bit more.
Mhm.
And who that's also another advice that I heard from Kat Liente, another creator that I really
Yeah.
like.
I actually know her. Yep.
But like that kind of like helps, because even if I don't post videos or I don't have time to edit, like I'm still kind of like being a part of the conversation, so I'm still relevant, if you will.
Yep.
But I do know that is a very strong fear, and every single time I have that fear of the algorithm, I always think of Stressed Out by Rustage, because I know that's something he struggled with for a hot minute and
Yep.
probably still does. I feel like all of us do.
I feel like everybody as
Um,
content creators kind of has that lingering kind of
oh,
fear
absolutely.
of the algorithm.
But I figure, what? How did the lyric go? It says something about, but I'm scared of what will happen if I pause and take a break.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was, what does he say? Nope, that's from another song. But he was essentially making songs that he didn't really like vibe with, that he
Mhm.
didn't really like care about or something. And like with music especially, it's a form of expression.
Mhm.
And if you're not feeling what you're singing about or what you're writing about, that to me is going to bleed over into the song as a whole. And there have been quite a few songs that I can definitely feel like they are just not in it.
Yeah.
And I think it was around that time when his album Overflow came out, and that's when he was like, "Hey guys, I'm going bi-weekly
Yep.
because I can't do the weekliness." And it's because he does like so many more things than just music. Like he has a whole separate community from Twitch, for God's sake.
Oh yeah,
Like
absolutely. Because he's got
people.
I know he's been doing he does multiple, like, I'm not even just talking about just like one thing of D&D. He does multiple different types of
Oh yeah.
D&D. Like what, he has like 3 or 4 different D&D campaigns.
So he finished up One Piece D&D. Now there's One Piece Marines.
Yep. And then doesn't he have like the isekai?
Yep. And he has the Isekai D&D.
And then he's been doing like this game show, like Connect or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what, I can't remember the exact name, but it's like a Connect,
Mhm.
it's some Connect or something like that where he gets people. So like, he's people like, I don't feel like people realize how busy and just how active some of these bigger artists. Because I can name like people like Rustage, Schwabity, like, because obviously Schwabity does all different types of content now. Where he's been doing game shows of his own lately or whatever, and he streams a lot. But there's just like there's a lot of people who don't just do music. There's obviously people who are like, they focus primarily on music, but there's people who stream as well as making music, and like and it's just like watching that from afar, just like, dude, little old me over here is struggling to just do these 1 or 2 things, bro. And these guys are making it look fucking easy as shit, and I'm just like, bro, I'll never be on these guys' level, bro. And it's just like, it's one of those things that, even though I know it's not a competition, it's also one of those things that is just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, I can't touch that.
Oh yeah, but that's another thing. Constantly comparing yourself to another creator.
Oh
now,
yeah.
I'm not gonna say don't do that, because I know that is easier said than done.
I do it without even thinking about it. Like, it just happens.
Exactly. But then I catch myself doing it, and I'm like, stop that. Because you can't compare your point in this journey to another person's.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, they're further down the line than you are.
Yeah.
So you don't know. They probably went through a lot of like bullshit to get to where they are. We're probably gonna go through a bunch of bullshit to get to that point as well.
Yep.
Like, but as I said, it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But like, don't dwell on it.
Yeah, of course.
You just kind of got to do your own thing and not really worry about comparing yourself.
Of course, of course. But Miss Tapat, that's kind of all I got for you for this episode. So what I normally have people do at the end of each episode, I allow take some time, promote what you got to promote. Showcase yourself. Tell us what you got going on, what you got in the works, where to find you, what's your ads, all that jazz. Let us know where to find you.
I hate promoting myself because it's.
If you don't, I will. If you don't, I will.
So, okay. Well, obviously, y'all can find me on YouTube. ThatAmethystWitch, not the ThatAmethystWitch. ThatAmethystWitch. I don't know why I came up with that, but anyway, I thought it was different. But I mainly post, obviously, reactions, as we just went off about. You can find me on TikTok as well. ThatAmethystWitch is where you can see the Showing You Nerdcore series that I started. You can also see it on my YouTube shorts too as well. You can find me on Instagram. I'm not as active on Instagram, but I'm trying to be. Same thing, ThatAmethystWitch. But as for projects that I'm currently working on, I did mention earlier that I'm working on a cover that I'm trying to kind of like be a little bit more deadliney with myself because I suck at that.
Yeah.
But I also have obviously the Water Users of Anime Cipher. Oh, Rain.
Yep.
I'm going to plaster that everywhere.
Of course, as you should, when
it goes live, and I will also be doing a reaction to that. I stream on Saturdays, 8 p.m. EST, Twitch, same thing as the other socials, ThatAmethystWitch. So
Everybody, go run up, go show love to Miss Tapat, that Amethyst Witch on all platforms. Go run it up. Go watch all of her YouTube videos, every single one. I mean that. I'm watching
even
every
the old ones.
Exactly, every single fucking one of them. I'm watching you too. I'm in your walls. I will know if you haven't seen it. I keep like I said, I'm everywhere. I'm under your bed when you sleep at night. I'm in the walls while you're sitting at your scrolling through. I'm everywhere, so I will know. Go show love to Tapat on all platforms. Go tune into one of her streams. Go show her some love because she's absolutely deserving of it all. Shout out to Miss Tapat. Miss Tapat, I appreciate you for hopping on the Peep Lounge. I appreciate episode 4. Like I said, the first ever non-musician. I mean, I guess you are a musician because, like I said, you've made music, but you're not as prominent.
It's not my main thing.
Exactly,
it's not my main thing.
You're not known in the nerdcore community for your music. So exactly. I appreciate you hopping on, and hopefully you had a good time at the end of it. And I appreciate thank all you guys for tuning in, and make sure you guys tell me who do you guys want to see on a future episode, and I'll try to make that happen. So with that being said, guys, make sure you guys are staying safe, taking care of yourselves. Tell a loved one that you love them, because at the end of the day, you will just never know. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
SOS, save our souls.